Joining us now is Annie Anieze Osakwe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Annie.
Hello. Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati.
What should I call it?
Gen Z body.
Gen
Z body.
I like that more.
Gen Z.
Gen Z
Or
body.
just Baba Gen Z. He said he was Baba Gen Z.
That's your new name, sir.
Yeah. Baba Gen Z.
Sir Gen Z.
Sergeant Z. Sergeant. Sergeant.
There you go. Rufai, how are you?
Annie, I'm great, and yourself?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Rufai?
The pride of Ogidi.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you all. I love that. I love this every morning. All right.
Right?
So, good morning to everyone out there watching. Thank you all for starting your day with us. So we start what's trending today with that breaking news from the Minister of Aviation we learned moments ago regarding Comfort and Manson. The female passenger at Ibom Air has said they removed from the airline after she refused to switch off her phone. So as everyone has seen, the situation got violent. Well, as we were on the air, Aviation Minister Festus Keyamo says he has now ordered 3 actions. For Ibom Air to first withdraw the complaint against her today, for the police to immediately take the steps to release her from Kirikiri prison this week, and finally, for the airline operators of Nigeria to lift the lifetime flying ban imposed on her, which he says they agreed to. As for K1, the musician who allegedly tried to board a value jet flight with alcohol a week prior, his flight ban has been reduced from 6 months to a 1-month period. Nigeria's Civil Aviation Authority is also withdrawing its criminal complaint against K1. And as for Captain Oluronti Ogoyi, who along with her co-pilot was suspended during that same K1 scenario, the NCAA is to restore their licenses after a 1-month ban. So the Minister of Aviation, he also called for a retreat to start next week to properly retrain aviation personnel on how to deal with disruptive passengers. And it's something the minister has also said the press will be able to cover, which is interesting. Things have moved very quickly as we've been following these 2 stories for the last week plus. So Dr. Abati, Gen Z, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to this major development on both fronts here?
Okay, we've been on this all day. First, the minister saying opportunity will be given for the retraining of airline officials, airport officials. I think that is in order. Anytime there is a crisis of this nature, you cannot argue against an opportunity for review, for resetting, for reflection, and then for lessons that may be learned, and for a collective consideration of what happened, what went wrong, what is the way forward, what lessons can we learn, what do we need to correct, at whatever level. So that's in order. The problem here is that the minister giving instructions to a regulatory agency like the NCAA. The NCAA, under its Enabling Act of 2018, is supposed to be an independent body. And now, whereas the minister may say he's in charge of aviation, I'm not sure that he has the powers to give express instructions to NCAA as to how you should conclude investigations or how you should go about it on a pending matter. We assume that the NCAA will have set up a body to conduct investigations, particularly into the Kwarm case. That's the matter involving the Fuji Metro. Now, ahead of the conclusion of the investigation, the minister now says he has directed that the 6-month ban, or is it 1-month ban, pending investigations should be reduced to just 1 month, and that in fact Kwarm should be made an ambassador to advise on protocols in airport operations, which I think is a bit strange. It's like rewarding the musician for bad behavior. What we must say in this country is that, look, misconduct should be sanctioned. Impunity should be sanctioned. Whether you're a friend of the president, or you come from the same ethnic region with the president, or you are an official entertainer of the federal government, no, all those are immaterial. Because all of us go abroad. You can't go abroad and misbehave at an airport, as one Dr. Zoe has pointed out, and you say, I've apologized, and you come up with a song to apologize. No, you will end up in detention. That's why Sean Diddy Combs has been in detention since last year. He's one of the wealthiest musicians in the world. The one says, no, you have no right to engage in transportation for prostitution purposes, which is even the list of the offenses charged against you. But here in Nigeria, if you say you are famous, do you know who I am? Then they will slap you on the wrist. That is where the question is. The other thing is the Kwarm 2 lady, the Miss Emanson. Now we've been told she should be released from Kirikiri detention and all of that. Okay, the lifetime ban imposed on her by the Airlines Organization of Nigeria, AON. We understand, okay, that also should be reconsidered. But the other issue, which the Nigerian Bar Association is putting on the table, is that our rights have been violated. Our right to the dignity of the human person, Section 34, our right to fair hearing, Sections 35 and 36, our right to freedom of movement, Section 41, all our rights violated, even our right to privacy, having been dehumanized and tortured and disgraced in public. And nobody has had our own side of the story. The only cinematographic evidence that is out there is a cinematographic evidence that does not tell us the full story. So these are the various dimensions of it, and our advice that now that the NBA and other civil society groups have offered pro bono legal services in favor of Ms. Emerson, that she should make use of the opportunity and insist on her rights, because the law should be fair to everybody. The law must not be selective. No Nigerian is bigger than the other one. We are all citizens under the rule of law. I've seen some mischievous people saying that, some people have suffered damages, but I don't want to say that on television. That will be said off camera.
Rufai.
Ewe oriji mo jẹ́, ewe oriji mo jẹ́ o. Ẹni bá ṣe kó foríjì mi, ewe oriji mo jẹ́. What it means in very plain. I've caught the leave of forgiveness. Anybody I've offended, anybody I've offended, forgive me. And that's the new song that Wasiu was singing somewhere. Truth is, but why are we surprised that it transpired this way? But this is Nigeria. When we say it here, some people shout, oh, we are hypocrites and all of that, but is this not the Nigeria we know? They aided one another. In fact, the lucky party here is that Comfort, this happened to her after something like Wasiu had happened, because if it has not happened, she will have just languished in jail for the fun of it. It's because we now posited equivalence and said, oh, the law that applied to Wasiu, why shouldn't it apply to her? That's why she was lucky. But this is Nigeria now. Is this not the Nigeria that we know that security authorities will frame people? Are we acting like we don't know what goes on in Nigeria? Is this not the Nigeria that we know that EFCC will get into someone's apartment, destroy the person's property? How many of the rights have those people claimed in the name of looking for leads? Did it even one happen to a property owned by former president of the country, Olusegun Obasanjo? Is this not the country of selective justice? So why are we acting like this? In fact, the Kwarm case was already settled because since the apology, nobody was saying anything again. It was one of the public outcry. The IGP quickly now said, oh, let's start investigating the Kwarm case before they brought about this peace deal. I will never get to what was the investigation. And that was why I was saying that. Till today, has anybody checked what really happened with the Oseni case? That's why when the Senate said they were going to investigate, I said, what's the Senate investigating? It's the same Senate you and I know. Have they given us a report on what happened on the Oseni case? So why are we talking like we don't know that this is Nigeria? Let me tell you what will probably as regard the Oseni case by the Senate.
Yes.
They investigate their own colleague. But yeah, okay, don't worry. If you believe that, Dr. Abati, then you will believe anything in this country. But as regards all of this that is happening, we are not oblivious of what Nigeria has become. It's still a country for those at the top. This morning you were trying so hard to defend the EFCC. I'm also defending them. But the EFCC makes me laugh. The same EFCC that had cases that were chasing people, once they got into power, the EFCC stopped chasing them. It's not that those people have immunity till date. We know those cases. We can mention a lot of them. But we don't want to shatter the table this morning. So is it that those that have files that are very full in the EFCC, that are serving in this government, is it that the EFCC, they didn't see that file again or they forgot it? And they will wait till they finish serving. So that's the country we have built in totality. What will probably happen is they will say, Comfort, you have been lucky, God has vindicated you. Just forget it. As guys in Wasiu case, we will never set a precedent. They will also say, you know what, let's just allow it go. You know, he's apologized. Was it not government officials that were sharing Wasiu's apology in the first place? People serving in government. Were they not the one that started sharing it since Friday to air is human? It's not government official that started sharing Wasiu's apology.
Can only reduce the sentence.
Dr. Abati.
He is, or what is called allocutus.
Dr. Abati.
He does not translate
Dr.
into
Abati.
innocence.
Dr. Abati, in a crime of that nature committed against government, it's same government official that are coming to say to air is human. So is that not the kind of country we live? So, see, to a large extent, we'll never get to the end of this matter. That's the Nigeria I know. And it will happen again, and almost the same thing will happen again. Because till date, we don't even know in clear terms what a Wasiu's charge sheet will have looked like staying in front of a plane. So once we have seen all of that, and that's why I say culture will strategy for breakfast.
On October 1, you'll be invited to entertain people
The president
during the independence celebrations. That's when you get your answer.
Ambassador Kwarm one. So, but today, Emma Logano see me, Emma Yonu see me, Yonu Olorun. So, let's continue. Let's stop fooling ourselves that we don't know what's going on in this country.
On that note, let's continue. Now to a different story in Nasarawa, where right now police are still looking for 9 out of 16 inmates who managed to break out of the jail there in the early hours of Tuesday morning. It happened at the Medium Security Custodial Center. And in a statement, the spokesperson of the Nigerian Correctional Service said inmates breached the security of the facility and attacked personnel on duty, enabling 16 inmates to escape custody. And in the course of containing the situation, 5 personnel sustained varying degrees of injury, 2 currently serious and receiving urgent medical attention. 7 of the fleeing inmates have been recaptured and are now in custody. So this prison break adds to a number of jailbreaks that have happened in the last few years, from Kogi State, where 12 inmates escaped earlier this year, the Suleja prison break, where over 108 inmates escaped last year, or even the Kuje prison break in 2022, where over 800 inmates were freed, although half of them were later caught. And Bimbai, I'll start with you on this, because what is the frequency of these jailbreaks signaling to you? Is it a resource problem, overcrowding, lack of security, or all the above?
Most certainly all of the above, plus more. Rufai always likes to say culture will eat strategy for breakfast. Now, we've accepted that we have these colonial structures as our custodial centers, and they're over, some of them are over 100 years old, and these are the same structures that we're still using now. They don't even, many of them don't even meet up to the modern standards, modern requirements of what you would expect in these, custodial centers. So you have that issue. We have dilapidation happening there. There's no maintenance happening. You have overcrowding. You have those awaiting trial in detention. You have poor welfare standards. The issues are compounded where it concerns our prisons. So this is why it's recurring. And if you notice that a lot of these prison breaks also happen during the rainy season, because they take advantage of the time when it floods, or obviously it floods, and then the structures also get a little bit moist and so forth. I guess it's easier for them to break out. And also, given the welfare packages for some of our services, our officers, you also can't deny the fact that there's probably a little bit of corruption also taking place in these environments. So all in all, our prison system is outdated. It needs a refreshment. I understand there's a new custodial center which is